Nope. No. 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 Hey guys, what's up? It's imuRgency and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another video, and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We're gonna be doing a movie review. Normally on this channel we do things like TV reviews, pop culture commentary, fashion review, and all that, but never have I ever, actually, that's a lie. Never have I ever, except for that one time, reviewed a movie. And if you clicked on this video, you likely know which movie I'm talking about, and that is Jordan Peele's Nope. And this movie, might I say, is honestly so perplexing, so shocking, that I just have to recommend it. There's nothing I can say besides I recommend. If you have not seen the movie yet, I strongly recommend that you go out and watch it and come back to this video, because we're gonna be talking about spoilers. We're gonna be getting into the nitty-gritty of this movie. I just can't recommend it enough. You need to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. But just in case you haven't seen the movie yet and need a little bit of prompting for what am I getting into, because I feel like for a lot of people going into Nope, we were just going in blind. At least I went in blind. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't even know what the plot was about. I just saw Jordan Peele and I was like, yep, I'll be there. And I was. So let me give you a quick synopsis really quick. But before we do that though, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow me on my socials at imuRgency, and make sure to leave a like on this video because it helps out with the algorithm so much. And it'd be very anti-black if you did not leave a like on this video right now. So get to it. So Nope is basically a sci-fi thriller, which is a little bit different from Jordan Peele's past two movies, Get Out and Us, which are more so social commentary thriller as opposed to just sci-fi. This movie follows the Haywood family, which is basically a black rancher family in California that owns a ranch of horses, and some unexplainable stuff happens where there may or may not be some extraterrestrial presences going on and making life a little scary for our two main characters played by Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, and pretty much all hell breaks loose. I think that was a pretty good synopsis, so if that doesn't pique your interest, watch it anyway. Watch the movie, come back. But now, for the people that have seen the movie or just want to see this review, let's talk about it. So picking up where I left off, what was going on in this movie? I was so perplexed. I was so confused. I was brought so many places emotionally and mentally where at the end of it, I was kind of just oh, I don't really understand what happened, but I'm impressed. Of course, because it's a Jordan Peele movie, there are going to be some social commentary, deep aspects if you dig into it, which we'll be touching on in a little bit later. But just on the surface level, so much went down. First we open up with the scenes with the monkey that goes wild on that set and takes everybody out and traumatizes Stephen Yeun's character. What? Hello? And then we actually get into all the UFO stuff, which is again unreal, because what was it? Was it a ship? Was it a living being? Where did it come from? I just have so many questions, and I left with more questions than I initially started out with. But we're gonna get into that. First things first, I wanna give Miss Keke Palmer her flowers, because her performance in Nope, top tier. I know Keke has been working. She's been working for a while, and she's recently hopped on Twitter to be flexing her stuff I've been that girl. And she really is that girl, because her playing Emerald, she really delivered, and honestly, in my opinion, carried this movie. And because Daniel Kaluuya is always gonna be great. He's been in 2 of the 3 Jordan Peele movies, and he already knows how to hold it down. He's a great actor. But I feel like Keke was the star of this movie. Between just her general energy, comedic relief, and just intense acting, especially near the end of the movie, give her flowers. Where's her Oscar? Where is the Oscar? And since we're talking about characters, one thing that I really did love about this movie is that there were no love interests. No one was romantically interested in anyone. There weren't any hang-ups or love triangles or any sort of those dynamics, which I feel movies oftentimes just throw in, even if they're not necessarily relevant or necessary, just to have some form of stakes or something that people can relate to. This movie doesn't need that, and it doesn't have that, and it's so refreshing, because I don't even know if it's something that people pick up on or recognize, because having a love interest or a couple or some kind of budding spark between 2 characters in movies and television is just so normalized. But I really enjoyed that they broke the mold and didn't have any of that, because it really wasn't necessary, and just really allowed each character to really shine on their own, which I really appreciated, because I felt like I was invested in almost every single character in this movie, and I can't say that's the case for a lot of these movies out there. Now I say that, but the one character that I was not invested in, simply because she had 0 screen time, but I saw her name being promoted so much in this movie, Barbie Ferreira. Why did she get Steve Levinson out of this movie? It was really giving Euphoria season 2. Homegirl had 2 lines. She had 2 lines in this movie. She first popped up and I was like, ooh, Barbie's in this movie? I can't wait to see how she's involved. Spoiler alert. She's not. I don't know what it is about Hollywood and Barbie, but they will not let her have lines. They will just have her post up for a second. Crickets, no lines. And that was just a little sick to me. Because why have a character like Barbie be a glorified extra? You know, I feel like she could have been more involved in the plot, just a little bit. Does anyone have tea on that? Was her role actually intended to be like that small? Or did something like happen where like scenes were cut? Because it kind of just felt like she was just thrown in there just to be in there, like as a cameo appearance type beat. But now let's dive into sort of the symbolism and sort of the deeper meanings behind this movie, because I feel like this movie definitely does raise more questions when you leave the theater than when you first walk in. And Jordan Peele has been on the record saying that this movie is very different from his other ones in the sense that it's not explicitly like a social commentary, but if people were to draw their own conclusions, then they can draw their own conclusions for what different things mean. Best believe I'm about to draw some conclusions right now. So have a seat. I'm about to put on my tinfoil hat and we're about to get into some theories for what things mean. So the first scene and theme I wanted to deconstruct has to deal with Steven Yeun's character Jupe and the monkey, and specifically how the monkey scene and Steven Yeun sort of represent the theme of the commercialization of trauma. Because if you've seen the movie, you know that when Jupe was a child, he witnessed almost his entire cast be brutally mauled and unalived by the monkey on set Gordy. And from that, you'd normally think that like, oh wow, maybe that's gonna like scar him for life and he's gonna be a completely different person, maybe like a darker person. But instead what he does is that he flips it and tries to make it a positive and tries to profit off of it. Because we see scenes in the movie where he actually like has like this secret room that he charges people to go and see and get like the behind the scenes experience of like what happened on that day. And another thing that I noticed was like the way that he was talking about how his very traumatic scene was represented on SNL, and he was like glorifying it and not really talking about like the trauma and like the really dark sides of it, and more so talking about, oh wow, like the actor that played Gordy really did bring the show through, like he was such a great actor, like it was such a good representation, instead of like actually addressing the problem at hand. Like he's very much deflecting and very much not allowing himself to really tap into like those negative emotions, and really just focusing on how like the sensationalization of something so traumatic happening is able to not only make him a profit but also give him success, fame, and all of that. But then goes and does the same thing with the UFO jean jacket and tries to commercialize the trauma and darkness that jean jacket actually has on the community. Like, how are you gonna try and sell tickets to like a extraterrestrial super predator? I don't, but it really does show like how this cycle of like commercializing trauma does end up, no pun intended, but like consuming us, because Jean Jacket does end up actually consuming Jupiter and everyone else that went to that little show. And I feel like that's really relevant now, because I feel like a lot of trauma and really bad traumatizing things are sensationalized and almost glorified to the point where like the notoriety of like the traumatic thing happening is superseding the actual like trauma that's going on, where like people aren't really getting their needs addressed. They're just talking about, oh wow, this really traumatic, crazy thing just happened. Like focus on that and not like the people that are actually affected. But I don't know, it's just my interpretation. The second thing I want to talk about is something that I was actually talking to a friend about the other day, and they brought up something that I didn't even recognize or think about in that sense, and that is the theme of simultaneously not looking at something, that meaning Jean Jacket, the UFO, while also trying to document and prove its existence. Because in the movie, the whole thing with Jean Jacket, the UFO, is that you're not supposed to look at it, otherwise you will attract it and it will eat you. But literally the entire plot of the movie is Emerald and OJ trying to document, get this thing on camera and prove its existence so that they can get the notoriety and just prove its existence to the greater world. And I don't know, that just sounds really familiar. Like, what else in the real world are people told not to really pay attention to or really look at and are gaslit about, to the point where they have to actually record every encounter to actually prove its existence to people? I don't know. I'll give you one guess, and it rhymes with pacism in America. Oh, it was pretty bad. Oh, it's pretty bad. But yeah, racism in America. Because that pretty much describes the Black experience. Because people aren't really supposed to talk about race or like really acknowledge its existence, because like if you don't look at it, then it doesn't exist, right? But that's very much not the case. It's still very much alive and well in the country, but people don't want to believe it. So the only way you can actually prove that this is actually happening and still happening to this day is to get it on film, is to get evidence, is to record it. So I just think the interaction between Jean Jacket and Emerald and OJ is very similar, eerily, to the relationship between Black Americans and the rest of society. I don't know, I could be wrong, but the similarities are kind of uncanny. But yeah, those are all the theories that I have for right now. I have to say overall, this movie was amazing. And if you haven't seen it yet, I can't recommend it enough. I think I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10 just because of how interesting it was. The only thing keeping it from a perfect 10 out of 10 score is the fact that I would have liked to get a little bit more closure. Like, I love a good open-ended ending, but I would have liked to have a little bit more closure as to like what everything and anything really means, because I felt like at the end I was very confused. Like, where did that thing come from? Are there more? What's going on? And I know it's a Jordan Peele movie, so we're never really gonna get a sequel. So like, that's gonna be it. Unless he decides to like have his own Jordan Peele cinematic universe where everything comes together. But those are all my thoughts on Nope. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Are you going to see it if you haven't already? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. And again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all at imuRgency, and to leave a like on this video because again, that helps out so much. But other than that, y'all, thanks so much for watching again. I've been imuRgency and I will see you in the next video. Peace.